Hello everybody, welcome back to another series. This time between Calm and Paralyze, starting out on Kickback. As you can see, wonky entrance there. This is a fun map to watch, but can be a bit frustrating to play. You have to play a completely different style, I think. It's similar to Monty Hall in that way. I'm very curious what kind of crazy maps we're going to get with the new season. That's going to be coming very soon, I imagine. And the ASL will be, or the SSL will be starting up again soon. For Calm's bit, I think we've got a overpool. And that second hatch over on the high ground. Now, I've seen a lot of Zerg players, or some Zerg players, doing this, where they take their third base at another location like this, a little bit outside of their main, but it gives them an opportunity to take this a little bit later. Doesn't seem like Calm wants to take that option, though. Instead, gonna grab his third up on that high ground right away. Has some lings out. Gonna deal with this first zealot that's coming across the map. Just 4 lings so far, but he'll of course need to add on a few more to deal with this ling or zealot plus probe combination. 4 more lings on the way. So while we're waiting for this engagement, I want to talk about Calm a little bit. He is an interesting player, and talking about SSL, he is one of those guys who we're never really sure if he's going to make it in or not. It's always a will he, won't he. Great pull with that ling, keeping that alive. There's not a lot of places for the zealot to hide on this map either. Another great pull there. Calm, his control is tournament level. It's very, very good. It's like a SSL champion level of control. As you can see, getting that surround on the zealot, only losing 1 ling for that first engagement. Now he's got, 7 lings, which will help him out a lot dealing with these next few zealots that are coming. Great spread as well, able to find these as they're on their way in. Oh, unfortunately there, he's gonna lose one of those lings. The zealot's able to body block that. It's just Calm going back and making another macro around while, he clicked his lings maybe back to here. And these lings decided to go down through the zealots rather than just walk, on a direct path over to this entrance. So that's a bit frustrating. Calm undoing some of his early genius micro play just by losing a few extra lings there. Unfortunate stuff. Well, behind this, we've got Paralyze throwing his buildings up in the corner. Kind of an interesting decision there with the double pylon at the front. It's not bad. I kind of like it. Allows him to be a little bit safer. Doesn't need to worry about losing his forge at the front. Is he going to start +1 now? After the 5-minute mark, there we go. Does get that on the way. And so just kind of a normal game from Paralyze off of that gateway expansion. Nothing totally out of the ordinary. We'll see if he throws down a bunch of gateways in a moment or not. That could indicate something a little bit wild, but seems like for now it'll just be Calm, defending, continuing to push back these zealots, and he'll probably surround this and kill these off as well. The 1 extra zealot might make him change his mind. Yeah, it's a little bit too much. 5 zealots. A little bit too much for just this small group of lings. What, 10 lings? Generally, you need about 3 to 1 in order to beat a group of zealots. And so, 4 versus 10, it's pretty close to 3 to 1. So still a bit on the dicey side. Maybe if you get a good surround on one of the zealots first, you might be able to pull it off, but is going to be pushed back for now. At least the Zealots are forced to go home. Here comes that Corsair. I think an Overlord dying here. No, he's actually targeting down that neutral sunken colony. And so no Overlords have died thus far. Corsairs haven't been able to find anything. This is some very good Overlord placement from Calm. Buying himself a little bit of time so he can get those Scourge out. Now he can return the Overlords to the correct places where he really wants them to be, over top of some of these neutral areas. Over top of his entrances and bases and stuff like that. So that he can be ready for any sort of DT coming across the map or any shenanigans from Paralyze. And a 4th base is in the works. 7-minute 4th. This is a very quick 4th base. This is the type of style that Calm likes to play. He is a strong macro Zerg through and through. If you let him have his way, he is going to become an absolute monster in the late game. This is his type of map then, kickback, allowing him to get these 3 bases online, with only having a natural to defend. Though he didn't really need to utilize that at all. He's just been playing out of his mind with those Lings. Dealing with everything perfectly. And I actually expect his APM to be a bit higher. I remember Calm being quite a bit faster than 350. Although 350 is really all you need. Nice snipe there, getting one of the Corsairs. Excellent job. Hydroden on the way. It's going to be right next to the lair. Surprised it's not part of the wall in the front, but it's time to start moving out on the map now. Quite a few mutas have been made. With the 1 snipe on the Corsairs, maybe he can overwhelm in the air and win that air battle. Yeah, you can't fight Mutalist Scourge with just 4 Corsairs. He's gonna have to be careful with those. He's gonna run away. 1 drone goes down over at this 4th, but it's a very greedy 4th. As long as it stays alive, I would say Calm's in a good spot. Looks like he will save it. And everything gets pushed back. Hydras are going to start to come out en masse now, but he's only got Muscular Augments almost finished, so he definitely doesn't have range yet. Not ready to engage with those forces, but he's got a pretty nice setup. I like the sunken colony placement there as well. That's going to be very difficult to break if Paralyze wants to attack into that base. Instead, he's going to take his 3rd and just kind of sit back. It's a little bit dangerous for Protoss to sit back on this map. Those extra bases will run out very quickly. This is a good setup. Look at all the sunken colonies back here. How are you supposed to get in here on top of these? I'm gonna go for it right now. Corsairs are coming in. That's the big important part. Oh, the Archon's gonna get targeted. That Archon getting pushed back is kind of huge. These mutas can now come in and clear this. Hydra muta gonna be able to deal with that. Scourge on the outside. Can they actually connect? 2 connect. And that forces the rest of the Corsairs back. Almost all the sunken colonies die. But sunken colonies are not what's important. What's important is the base. And he keeps it alive. Doesn't have many drones left over at the end of that fight, but he's okay. He's driven back the Corsairs and killed a few. Still, the number is pretty high. Yeah, you can't really engage this. He actually gets one. Wow. Well done. Getting another Corsair. There's only 6 remaining now, and 5 more sets of Scourge are on the way. He just got supply block, though. And no more sunken. There's only 1 sunken in that corner. Let's see if he can hold this off. Hydras are not where they need to be. Hydras are over here on the side. He's going to bring them to the front now, but they should have all been together already. Hydras pushing in from behind, gearing up with these Mutalisks to fight. These Corsairs will be driven back, and the Archon looks like it's going to die. Oh, gets 1 shot off. But no more than that. Looking for an opportunity to maybe fight with some Overlords, kill some Overlords, but the Scourge are just too many. Too many Scourge here, and with the +1 armor, they're a bit too much of a threat to only 6 Corsairs. It'll be a little bit hard to push out on the map now as Calm, but he's just about at that critical mass of Hydras, that 2-3 control groups of Hydras you need to start bullying these Zealots around. Oh, does force back the Mutas. Did all the Scourge go down? I think they might have. No, there's the Scourge in the natural still. The Scourge in the natural, still a threat. Hydra's out on the map, and it seems like he's lost track of this Protoss force. The Zealots are going to come into this base down here at bottom center. Calm is not ready for it. Oh boy, Calm's done such a good job this game pushing this stuff back, but he may end up losing a huge amount of drones. He's at 61. He's spent a lot of time to get there. Now he's losing a ton of those. Look, these Hydras are not fighting. What are they doing? 55 drones now. More Scourge pop out. They're gonna chase after those Corsairs, but that is a bit rough. Had those units just been in the position they needed to be, it would have easily held this Zealot counter, but unfortunately had most of his stuff in the middle of the map. Taking another base now is Calm. Gonna try and secure center right, which is a good band-aid solution for the long term, but taking bottom left, taking another main base would really secure his position. Feeling a bit on shaky ground as he continues his upgrades now. Getting triple upgrade rolling, and Lurker's about to finish. We're gonna see a Dragoon push with quite a few Templar in a moment. There's no mutas to speak of to potentially snipe any of these Templars down. Very important that this base comes up now. It's 13 minutes in, and you can see the third, or the natural is just about gone. Third base is still doing okay. Main is getting low as well, so he really needs this next base to come up, which means he's gonna have to kind of stay defensive if he doesn't want to risk getting losing this Nexus to a quick snipe. Group of Hydras like that, if you go across the map and try to attack this base right now, that little group of Hydras will actually kill that Nexus. So Paralyze making the right choice. Gonna hold back for a moment, wait for some cannons to come online, and then maybe willing to push down towards bottom center. But by that time, Calm is gonna have his Lurkers in position, I imagine, to defend his other bases, his outlying bases. Couple drones potentially gonna go down, unfortunately, for Calm. Not having those sunken colonies up just yet. Here comes those Lurkers. Gonna react to Paralyze, pushing over towards the center right. Trying to get into position, all spread out so that the Lurkers don't take too much damage from Storm. Scourge still ready to try and jump on some of these Corsairs. There's not many of them left. Looks like they won't get anything more. No, they do get another Corsair. Okay. Another Corsair goes down. Zealot checking bottom left. He's making sure that that main base hasn't been taken yet. And Calm, he needs to be able to respond to wherever Paralyze is moving. He can't really see much right now. It's quite dark out on the map. And if Paralyze attacks into this base and the Lurkers aren't moved in time, he could be in a lot of trouble. And so he's got to keep poking in, just seeing where the army is. Making sure he's keeping tabs on that. One Ling sent over to center left. Does end up seeing that. Can Paralyze push in just enough? Get rid of enough of these Lurkers so that he can break this base in center right. Let's see. He's clearing out a few of those. Doesn't look like he's ready to dive all the way in, though. His army is looking massive. But Calm is getting close to max out, and he's got Defiler Tech on the way. A lot more Hydras and Lings are out on the map now. And their upgrades are looking fantastic. +2. You can see 1-1 is done on Lings as well. And 2-2 is going to be finishing up soon. Only 1-2 on Paralyze's units. So if Paralyze doesn't end this soon, and this is what I was talking about. He hasn't reacted to this yet. A lot of lurkers still over on the center right. He actually needs to unburrow those and get moving. Can't allow this base to be broken. Lurkers are there. Hydra's getting absolutely wrecked. My goodness. Calm not paying attention for a second, I guess. Not seeing those storms go down on the big clumps of units. But he's bringing everything together. Here comes those lurkers from the right-hand side. He's going to go ahead and try to surround this army. That's a lot of dragoons, but this is so many forces coming down from Calm. Oh my god, that storm right there was insane. Absolutely insane, and Calm has to retreat. Oh boy, this is rough. Calm, another wave of units. How many storms remain? One storm left. That is it. But he's gonna have two more in about 10 more seconds, so he's just gotta hang on for a little bit longer. Oh, Calm letting those hydras just run in and die. Trying to wrap around this army, fully surround it. More lurkers coming up from the rally point. These lurkers going down to the bottom left. Not sure what those are all about. I thought he was gonna wrap around this army and actually finish it off, but seems like zealot reinforcements are gonna come down and clear this out. Uh-oh. Not sure what that was all about. He's gonna be able to potentially deny this base though. There we go. Does stop the base from going down in bottom left. That certainly is important. And 2-2 is about to finish. That's gonna be a massive power switch. Right, up until now, the Lings and Zealots have had a bit of an advantage over, or sorry, the Dragoons and Zealots have had a bit of an advantage over the Lings, but now with +2, oh my goodness, are they gonna kill things quickly? I think he managed to deny this. I don't see enough money in the bank, so I think he killed that guy, so that's a big pick in bottom left. Protoss is starting to struggle now, running out of money on all of his bases. Pretty good dodge there, letting the lurkers just back away. A lot more Lings coming out. The 2-2 Lings are going to be so powerful. Running right in on top of all of this. You're going to see some Protoss stuff just melt. Great storm there, kills a lot of those Lings. But he gets the last Templar and now can back up to these lurkers, and they're assisted by Lings. Lings are not going to die quickly. They only have +1, these Zealots, so they take quite a few hits to kill the Lings. He's just starting to break through. But here comes another wave of Lings, another wave of lurkers as well. He gets one great storm on those drones, which really does hurt. A lot of drones just went down, but still 53 remain. We've got plenty of economy behind this. And he even starts +3/+3. So he's going to stay ahead in upgrades from now on. At least until we get to 3-3 on the Protoss side of things. Base again going down in bottom left. The armies are so small. But I'm definitely favoring Calm in this situation. Paralyze is struggling. You can see his bases are just about all mined out. Only his third has a little bit of money left. If he doesn't get this base online pronto, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Calm is getting into his macro mode with another base coming up in top right. Paralyze can't do too much about that. And he's trying to defend down in bottom left and put pressure onto 6 o'clock. Lurkers right out in the front. Lings ready to assist those. Some storms coming down and getting some good trades with those. Able to just storm and one tap with the Dragoon. Running forward here. He tried to get it. He wanted the one tap with the Zealot, but oh, first plague on this army. I think the power balance has really started to shift into Calm's favor now. A group of Zealots and Archons heading up to top right. That actually beats what Calm has at this base. But as that base is going down, can Calm deny this down at bottom left? If he denies the bottom left and Paralyze kills top right, I think that still leaves Calm in a better position. Looking for the biggest plague. Can he actually get it? Oh my god. That plague. Absolutely brutal. He's gonna send some reinforcements over to the top right. Try to keep this alive. Archons are doing work up there. And the drones are starting to fall. Paralyze holding strong in bottom left while killing off this base. Okay, doesn't kill the base. He kills all the drones, but he doesn't kill the base. See if Paralyze wants to send another force up there. So far, not interested just yet. Big plague should come down on a lot of this. Would have been nice to get the plague on those photon cannons, actually. Shoving forward with lurkers. You're gonna have to cast a bunch of storms to get rid of those. Very annoying, but oh, the storm from the north here is so frustrating for Calm. He's got all of his forces rallied to this position. We're all grouped up there. So many Lings just died to just a couple of storms. These last couple of lurkers hanging on for dear life. Only got 22 health on those. It's like this base is once again mining in top right, but Calm gonna pull away most of the defenses to try and continue this attack in the bottom left. Lurker's still up there on the high ground. Most of these have been plagued. Most everything has been plagued, in fact. More lurkers, more hydras. He's gonna surround this army. Okay, he's actually gonna break through the lurkers before the armies meet up. Excellent play by Paralyze, taking out a bunch of those lurkers. Will lose a few Templar on the backside, however. Now falling back to his cannon, he managed to kill at least those defilers. And so there's no defiler with which to push into this bottom right-hand corner for the moment. Counterattack of Zealots heading up to top right. I don't think that can do too much. One lurker up here. Gonna get a bunch of kills, I think, with this last spine. No. Look at all these Zealots with no HP left. Absolutely none. Could have gotten a triple kill there. Was not able to. Those kind of running around as more bases get taken. This could become an absolutely massive game if he's not able to end now. Oh my goodness, so many lurkers run forward. I guess he's realized there's no Templar. For a moment, he can start to push forward really heavily. One more Dark Swarm goes down. Lurkers all burrow. Here comes those Templar reinforcements, but for this short period of time, with no Templar and no Storm, you can just do this. Drop the Dark Swarm and run in with like 10, 15 lurkers all under one Dark Swarm. And just start to push that Protoss player back. I think he's found it. He's found the opportunity that he was looking for to break this base in bottom left. And although Paralyze has saved the probes for now, these lurkers are slowly but surely closing in on that army, clearing it out, finishing off these units. And now he can go up onto this high ground. He had nothing he can do about it. Archons are going to go around the side, try to gather themselves over at this rally point, but GG is called. Paralyze taps out. Very good play from Calm. Like I said, showing some tournament level, ASL, SSL level play in the late game, that's for sure. His control, excellent this game. We've got another one, so let's jump right in. Okay, game number 2. Got Calm on Dominator. Looks like he'll be opening with a 12 hatch. He manages to get it down just as the probe is arriving, so no block there for Paralyze. A little bit unfortunate. He went for a gateway opener, so he may have an opportunity to get in there and deal a little damage. There's this spawning pool. Can't block that either. The more damage he does with this probe early, the more opportunities he's gonna have to potentially get damage with that Zealot. You can see this drone already very low. 2 hits may kill that when the Zealot comes in, unless it heals up more than I'm thinking. Generally, it's 2 probe shots and 2 zealot hits will kill a drone, but healing is going to become a factor. The drone headed out for that 3rd hatchery. Gonna take that at 12. Hasn't had any scouting information except with this overlord. Now he knows that the Protoss is over at bottom left. He sees the zealot incoming as well. 4 lings on the way. Is he gonna steal the gat? No, certainly not. Probe is just playing ring around the rosy, dodging this drone. Coming in for a kill if he can get it. Oh, nice. Oh gosh, Calm is sick. Calm is so sick. Just ruined that zealot probe attack with some excellent drone control. Can he actually get anything? No. Utterly denied. And a 2nd zealot comes in as well. That's going to get blocked out of the mineral line even. And so he's going to surround this and kill it. It's pretty tough to get the lings to surround. Oh my goodness, it gets behind the mineral patches somehow. That's crazy. But he will get 3-4 on 1. So eventually this will be taken down. And Calm going to be able to macro out of this without too much trouble. Extra overlord on the way. A little bit supply block for a moment there, but he gets some more drones going once that's been opened up. Probe out on the map, looking for some information. See if he can possibly slip by into the main. Hydralis Den on the way. He's seen the hatchery, so he knows that there's no lair, at least in the main base, but there could be one at the 3rd. So if he goes and checks the 3rd first. Yeah, he's gonna go check that 3rd, make sure that there's no lair over there. Sees no lair. Maybe loop back around towards the natural, see if he can get some information there. And that's gonna be caught. Almost surrounded and killed. But I think he's seen kind of what he wanted to see. The zealots have spotted that there's no lair on the way. He also sees no ling speed, which is a big tell. A Hydra Den could be on the way. Is there going to be a 4th hatch? Only 3 drones over at this 3rd base. Really wanted to get rid of this before the drones pop. Yeah, he sees the drones pop. That's not good. Seeing those drones means that he knows he might need an extra cannon, but he knows he doesn't need a lot of cannons. It's not like this is going to be a 973 coming this way. 4 zealots pushing up. They're going to be taken down by just these lings right here, I think. And track that for a little bit. Maybe wait for Hydras so that he can take a better exchange. Once he gets those Hydras out, he will be able to just trap the zealots there and then let the Hydras deal the damage while the lings tank. 1 zealot gonna make its way into the natural. He might get a drone as well. At the same time, he gets 2 drones. Uh-oh. I think Calm was trying to be a little bit too fancy, perhaps. Not just fighting with the lings right off the bat and then following up, killing. Like, he saves a lot of the lings because he fights with the Hydras as well. But he lost 2 drones. Maybe getting a tad bit too fancy. 4th hatch on the way now. So 4 hatch Hydra it is, potentially going up to 5 hatch Hydra. 4 cannons, 3 cannons, excuse me, on the way in the natural. I think with range he can actually hit that forge. He should be able to hit that. The forge is not upgrading. No upgrades incoming on that forge. He's gonna instead drop a secondary forge in the main and look to get +1 from that one instead. There's a good opportunity for Calm to get a upgrade advantage going, and he's putting down a 5th hatch, but it's at a 5th base, or 4th base, excuse me. 5th hatch at 4th base is a little bit greedy, but it's gonna work out beautifully, I think, with the way this game has gone. The zealots are going to be kept at home for a long time. They don't have speed. They don't have any upgrades. And there's an opportunity for Calm to drone up to an insane level. Paralyze is... he's stuck, as his name kind of alludes to. He can't really move at the moment. He's just gonna have to stay back home, get his gateway count rolling, eventually get into Templar, and wait for these upgrades to start coming out. Like, these Hydras and Lings are just gonna prevent him from going anywhere for the time being. Just wait for this drone count to absolutely skyrocket. We're gonna see like 55 drones, maybe 60 drones out of Calm in a moment. You can see Paralyze surveying the situation, seeing the number of hatcheries and the amount of drones that's coming out. He's got to be feeling a little bit rough in a situation like this. Slightly demoralized as to how this has gone so far. Spire on the way as well. He's gonna maybe switch into a group of mutas later on, since the Corsair number is so low. He's only built one Corsair the whole game, and he's no longer scouting with it aside from looking at these Hydras. The Zealots are gonna come out now. Lurker upgrade on the way, so maybe he doesn't want to go for Hydras, or for excuse me, Spire. What am I saying? Mutas? Maybe he doesn't want to go for mutas, but he at least wants to get some Scourge out to maybe deal with drops and that sort of thing. However, has he been too greedy? Has he built too many drones? He went up to, like I said, 60, 58 total. And he just lost an Overlord, so he's a little bit supply blocked at the moment. He's got a lot of places to defend. He's got to defend his natural, his third base, and his fourth base. And see, this is wide open. Only one sunken colony over there, and it's not even finished yet. He pushes everything back for now. Paralyze being a little bit careful with his Zealots. Doesn't want to throw them away, but he really should be able to get some damage somewhere if he just splits up his Zealots and starts hitting multiple bases. I can't imagine Calm being able to hold on to everything, absolutely everything at the same time. He's gonna head over towards the natural. Let's see if he can take this engagement. He only has +1 armor, so it takes 3 hits to kill these Zerglings, which means it takes a long time to cut through these forces. And now the Zealots are fully committed. They're just gonna go in. Is there a DT or something out on the map? Something that I'm missing? No. For the time being. Gonna buy time on the ramp so they can get a few kills on these drones. Still 50 remain. 49, 47. A lot of drones going down. One Zealot gonna split off. There's the DT that I missed. Oh my goodness, this DT with 10 kills. I was wondering if I was missing something. Well, there it is. 14 kill DT over at that base. Finally gonna get cleaned up. Calm on the ropes with 36 workers. 13 more are on the way. He's gonna have to hang on desperately with Lurker until he can get these workers back in line. That's his 4th gas as well. Doesn't really need gas at the moment. But his worker count shooting back up. 53 workers. At least he's playing Zerg. Losing all of those workers is not going to absolutely destroy him. It's not going to be a game ending, it seems. He had enough of a lead to where Paralyze can't just immediately push out and destroy him as he's re-droning. But Paralyze taking other liberties. Instead of just diving in, he's chosen to drop double expansion. His 3rd and 4th base are going to come up at exactly the same time. And he's going to shoot ahead in his overall macro. Still, there's hope in this game for Calm. It's not an easy game by any means, but there is a potential. He may be able to bring this one back. He's got triple upgrade rolling. Just waiting on that. Does need to see this. Looks like he's got an overlord in position, so he does see the army. That's very important. If the army got all the way up into this corner without him knowing about it, he definitely wouldn't have these sunkens done. He wouldn't have his army in position to deal with this. All these extra lurkers were made as soon as he saw that moving, and he's moving a bunch of lurkers around the side. Is this kind of a trick? He might get stuck in between the bases. He's having a hard time moving through this gap when going in either direction. Lurkers being brought to the front. That's a pretty scary army from the Protoss. Let's see if he has enough to break it. Oh boy, this is a scary fight. I think I might have actually slowed things down again by accident. My bad, guys. Sometimes my finger slips there. I think we're back on the fastest speed again. Pushing up onto this high ground. That's a lot of lurkers, but Calm doing a good job sending in his Lings and Hydras as the lurkers are engaging and getting their damage. The storms are pretty good, but this is actually overall a decent engagement for Calm. He's pushing this back and he gets the next round of lurkers to the front. His macro kicking in once again. Back up to 51 workers, just barely enough to really start cranking off of all these hatcheries and spending all of his money. You can see Paralyze is running a bit high in terms of his bank. He's got quite a bit of money left over as his army gets cleaned. Needs to add a few more gateways, it seems. It looks like he will start to add those on. 4 bases is a lot of income for Protoss. He just wasn't quite ready for it, it seems. If he had like 3 more gateways, he probably could have spent all that money, but he's only going to start to add those on now. And there's an opportunity maybe for a calm counterattack. Let's see if he can get in here. There's no Templar on this high ground. Paralyze being a little bit slow to react to this. Okay, he's got Zealots on the ramp, though. Those Zealots on the ramp are going to buy that very precious couple of seconds that maybe Paralyze can get into position. Bunch of Dragoons firing away at these Hydras, and this is a death trap for Hydras trying to funnel up this ramp. He will back away for now. Lurker's going to unburrow. It's a good choice. You don't want to eat a storm at the bottom of that ramp. Losing that many lurkers at a moment like this could be fatal. Need those in a position that the Protoss wants to push through. The base possibly going up in top left. That's a bit of an interesting choice. It's surprised to see Calm try to take that base instead of looking towards the next main. It has Defiler on the way. Maybe this will be a good place to make an extra a Defiler so you can quickly get it to the front. Lurkers are running right up on this high ground. Gonna burrow in front of everything. He does pick off some of the Templar, but that storm was insane. Doing a huge amount of damage. He does get 1 of the observers, but 3 more are ready to fight this. Take a look at the upgrades. 1-1 is done. It's 2-2 for Paralyze, so I feel like he has a much better chance in this game. At least keeping up on the upgrades. Staying on curve. Not forgetting that +2 attack. So essential in this matchup to stay ahead of the Zerg. Don't allow the Carapace to match your plus upgrades, and definitely don't allow him to get ahead of your with his Ling upgrades. That Ling attack is so powerful as you get into these late stages, and you have all the things like Crackling upgrade and Defilers in the mix as well. Plague is on the way. Another push for Paralyze. Is it going to be as devastating to him as last time? Dark Swarm already. That's done. He's going to get some more consumes. Another couple of Dark Swarms, but he was a little bit caught off guard by this. Paralyze got in there on top of the lurkers that were not even burrowed yet. The Dark Swarm goes down, and he clears most of the Zealots, but the Dragoon army is still looking strong. Where are all the forces for Calm? Oh my goodness, he gets overwhelmed at his rally point. GG is called. What happened? Calm absolutely falling apart at the end there. Oh, this is shaping up to be a great game, but unfortunately, Calm just didn't have it in him to overwhelm this force. He didn't have it in him to block this counterattack. Really thought he was going to be able to get into future bases, and we're going to see a nice long game with Paralyze taking top left. On 5 bases, Protoss can fight for a very, very long time. You almost have to take the entire rest of the map in order to beat them in that situation. But I was totally confident that Calm could make that happen, and now he just kind of crumbles. Well, that is Calm for you guys. He's kind of SSL adjacent. He's gotten into the SSL a few times, the ASL a few times. It's always a will he, won't he with this guy. Paralyze is kind of, he's getting up to that same level as well. He's managed to take this game off of Calm, but this is our last game for the series, guys. 1-1 in the end. GG. Paralyze ties up the series.